Another race at NASCAR got emotions unleashed. In the NASCAR Verizon 200, Chase Elliott was unable to overtake Michael McDowell in the final laps. Did Mike Rockenfeller or Hendrick Motorsports have anything to do with it? Chase Elliott, NASCAR's rising star, holds nothing back as he blames HMS and Rockenfeller for a heartbreaking near win. You won't believe what happened at the Verizon 200. Watch to find out why Elliott's quest for victory took an unexpected turn. But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. The Verizon 200 at the Brickyard was a roller coaster of emotions, and Chase Elliott from Hendrick Motorsports was at the center of it all. The race, held at the Indianapolis road course, had fans on the edge of their seats with intense action. But damn, things didn't go as planned for Elliott. He had his eyes set on that victory, but the twists and turns of fate had other ideas. The spotlight was glaring at him throughout the race. When the dust finally settled, it was Michael McDowell who claimed the checkered flag. Second place was not where Elliott wanted to be, and you could see the frustration radiating from him. In those post-race interviews, man, he was seriously ticked off. He couldn't hide his disappointment, and he didn't hold back. He let loose his frustration on his team, pointing out every little thing that went wrong and cost him the win. Chase Elliott ain't buying it that luck was against him. He's got this burning belief that they could have clinched that victory if his team had their act together. The HMS star no doubt knew the huge deal riding on the playoffs. He stepped into that race with one big goal: win. Winning was the ticket to secure his place in the playoffs. In the first two parts of the race, he hung around in third place, keeping his shot at the overall victory alive. Then, bam, he got tangled up with Suarez in a crash. Despite that setback, it seemed like he could still snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Even with around 30 laps left and McDowell from FRM leading, victory wasn't out of sight. But guess what? Elliott didn't get the big W. He crossed that finish line in second place, and yeah, he might have achieved something pretty impressive, but you could see in his post-race words that he wasn't all that thrilled. He had this underlying frustration, and he didn't hide it. When he started talking about the almost win that slipped away, man, you could feel his anger right there in his words. It was crystal clear. He admitted with a touch of sadness, needed just a little bit more. And you know what? A lot of folks who were rooting for him felt the exact same way. They were all hoping for his success, but the big lingering question was, what got in his way? What stopped him from reaching that ultimate glory? When the reporter asked Elliott about how close he was to McDowell and how little space there was between them, he blamed his pit stop. Elliott responded unequivocally, "Yeah, I just lost too much ground under that pit cycle." With the poised honesty of a seasoned competitor, he dissected the strategy and execution. "Was trying to pace me for the long haul. Kinda had that green flag feel, and I thought I did that. Just needed a better job getting through the traffic." Despite having every reason to call out the team for the messed up pit stops, Chase Elliott ain't holding back his anger. When he got questioned about the total mess that went down at Michigan earlier today, he didn't waste a second to go on the defensive for his team in that press conference before the race. Right before his big road race, Chase Elliott had to deal with the media, but man, he was fuming inside. They were all up in his face asking about his game plan for the race. This 27-year-old speed demon didn't let it slide. He shot back with some strong words, shutting up the doubters and proving why folks can't take their eyes off him when he's on the track. That mess up in the Firekeepers Casino 400 race didn't even shake him. Fans were hating on him after he goofed up at MIS. They were all over him, blaming his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, who's supposed to be a champ. They were really mad about that pit stop call he didn't make. That call led to a busted rear tire, and that number 9 Chevy of his smashed right into the wall. And to top it off, the officials waved that caution flag like crazy early on. In that press conference before the race, Elliott didn't hold back his anger. He stood there and talked to the crowd, but man, he was really upset. But he made sure everyone knew where he stood, saying, "We're all good. We're continuing to keep our heads down and work, and that's the only way we know how, you know? For us, we're just continuing to go through our process every week and make sure we show up to the racetrack prepared, and when we get here, work through it." Even though they are minimal, Elliott's prospects of making the playoffs are still alive because his next race is scheduled to take place at Watkins Glen, which is a track where he's often rather strong. In your opinion, what do you think of the Verizon 200 at Brickyard? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. Elliott was burning up because he just couldn't catch Michael McDowell. But let's talk about Mike Rockenfeller. Was he mixed up in this mess? Elliott had a chat with Rockenfeller about the dude who replaced Noah Gragson after the race. Maybe there's a legit reason for it. Chase Elliott was fuming about the way Rockenfeller and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. were fighting for a spot. while his car, the number 9, was trying to move forward. Elliott was only 2.1 seconds behind McDowell, so he needed every bit of space to catch up. But that battle between the 42 and 47 cars was holding him back big time. Once the race ended, Elliott and Rockenfeller were caught having a talk, and it looked like this the whole time. Elliott said the conversation was okay. Rockenfeller talked to the media after the race, explaining what went down. That clash with Chase Elliott didn't really mess with the race results, but it did happen at a super important moment. Rockenfeller seemed to feel bad about it, for whatever that's worth. Rockenfeller was in the Garage 56 team for the 24 Hours of Le Mans and has strong ties to Hendrick Motorsports. This German driver stepped in for Noah Gragson when he was out from Legacy MC. He didn't want to stir up any problems for Elliott, that's for sure. Chase Elliott was seriously ticked off. He was so close to snatching the win for McDowell, but he couldn't catch up due to not enough laps or speed. Who knows if even moving aside could have helped him catch car number 34. This whole situation was just plain irritating. Rockenfeller better realize he needs to clear the way at Watkins Glen, no doubt about it. For Chase Elliott, yesterday stung worse than ever. Imagine being just a hair away from the playoffs and turning your season around, yet still falling short. It's like a punch to the gut to be that close, but still so far. Now he's got to figure out his game plan for the next week. Even though the road track layout this week was fast, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway ain't no Watkins Glen. These two tracks are totally different beasts, demanding different strategies. Considering all this, Elliott's performance should give him some confidence for the upcoming race. Meanwhile, quite a few drivers were hauling it at Indianapolis. McDowell just might pull off another win, who knows? Then again, Tyler Reddick could rev up his pace and uncover the secret to returning to victory lane. Chase Elliott will not advance to the playoffs without first claiming victory in the race. Coming off a heartbreaking loss, Elliott still has 2 more races to go before the postseason begins. How will he respond? Daniel Suarez, who was on the pole, was also in a good spot to make the playoffs, but he made a mistake on pit road that cost him his chance to win. When the airline got stuck under the left front tire, the Trackhouse Racing driver had to stop slowly. He was able to get back on track and end up 3rd, but he is still 28 points behind the cut line. Tyler Reddick, who won the race last year, and Alex Bowman made up the rest of the top 5 on Sunday. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Chase Briscoe, who's from Indiana, rounded up the top 10. After winning on a street track in Chicago, the top driver in the Supercar Series did well in his first oval race in the Truck Series on Friday night at Indianapolis Raceway Park, just down the road. Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, and Austin Cindric all finished in the top 15. During the race, there was only 1 yellow, which happened on the second lap. But there was a lot of contact between drivers, and many foreign drivers got a real taste of how physical this series is. AJ Allmendinger went off course more than once during the race and ended up in 26th place. Joey Logano, who was involved in multiple collisions yesterday and finished 34th, took out his Colleague Racing teammate Justin Haley at the start of the race. So that's all we've got from the Verizon 200 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.